أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In Puebla, Mexico, and as you know, in Mexico we are 100 or 99% Christian Catholic people. I come from a very traditional place, which is Puebla in the south of Mexico. So I was basically raised up by my grandpas and my mothers, back and forward, and they made me believe in Christianity since I was a child, and they taught me in school. I mean, it's an atmosphere of Christianity all over around, because it's a shame that there is no other contact of other religions of the people's heart. Like they believe blindly, not thinking, not rethinking about that if it's true or not. They just believe it. Like I remember myself going to church every Sunday when I was with my parents, with my grandpas. I was with my grandpas. They used to take me to church on Sunday. We'll dress up nicely and go to listen to mass. And then, oh, it was great, the mass. But did we understand something? I remember that when we attended the church, there is this always think about it. You just take it for known, for that it is true, that whatever you heard is true, and you go on with it the whole weekend after weekend, Sunday after Sunday. Even though I am from the south of Mexico, when I was 10 years old, we moved to the north of Mexico, on the border of United States and Mexico. So later on, when I was 23 years old, then I met my husband. And to my mother, it seemed to be like, well, he looks like a cute guy, he's nice, and there is no problem with that. So we went on with the marriage, and 3 years later, I got pregnant with my daughter. But at the time that we married, there was a promise of both of us. My promise to him, it was that our children will be Muslim. To me, I thought, he's such a beautiful and nice guy that there is no problem with my future children to become Muslim. He's enchanting. He's so charming. So I had no problem with that. But and my promise to him, it was that don't ever come with a second or third or fourth wife. He said, no, don't worry about that. This is a matter of kind of religion and tradition. And in my family, we don't marry twice or 3 times or 4 times. So don't worry about that. I said, well, no problem. So we can marry. When I had my baby in my arms, he was like, what I believe is true faith, because I did not know anything else than Christianity. So at the time that Fatima was growing up, I was teaching her my religion. Of course, it was behind my husband's back, but I had no choice. I like in the morning, at night, when he was at work, I would bring up my Bible. I would just read a passage, regardless whether I understand it or not. I'll bring up my cross, and I said, Fatima, now, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and this whole thing, and so on. And so she was believing in it. I made sure that she was being raised as Christian, and I warned her, don't let my husband's family to know about it. And I remember every night I'll bring my cross, my Bible, and every prayer that I had. Fatima, now kiss the cross, and in the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and ask him whatever you want. Next night we will ask Santa Teresa, Saint Teresa, or any other saint, Saint Anthony, and whatever cross in your mind. The next night we'll ask the angels, next night, the Virgin Mary, and so on. But one night, we had no one else to ask. I ran out of saints. So I said, Fatima, now we're going to ask God. And she said, okay, now who is God? Who is God? I said, He's the one who created you, who created me, and He is forever and ever. So she was pondering. She was thinking about those words. And to my explanation, then I brought my cross again. I said, now, thank God. I was bringing the cross. And she looked at the cross. And she said, Mama, who is this? I said, this is God. He's the Son of God. Astaghfirullah. Then she told me, but you just told me a minute ago that God is forever. How come this one is dead? And I never in my whole life realized that fact. She asked me, where does this God come from? I said, well, it comes from the womb of Mary, of the Virgin Mary. She said, oh, so He was born sometime before. I said, well, yes, but then she said, you told me that He's forever and he never died and He's never born. It was contradictory. She started to tear apart my Christianity. And I saw her and said, how can I make her believe in this? At that time, when Fatima started me to ask me many questions about the Virgin Mary, how come you told me that God is alone, has the power alone, and you ask the Virgin Mary, and you ask the angels, do they have power? I said, well, let me think about it. It's something that you were raised on in this belief. And in Mexico we are like all Catholic. Most of the people is Catholic. You never rethink of the power of the submission, total submission only to Allah. You never think of that. So at that time I said, I need help. Someone help me. I'm drowning. My Christianity is torn in pieces. So I went to church, to this Christian Catholic church in St. Mary here in Dubai. I had contact with this nun, okay, and other people there in the convent. I was in 3 days talk with them for hours. I was asking questions, and what they came up with is they said, well, you must believe it because this is what God ordered you to do. You must believe in Christianity because this is the truth. In some passages, and there are different Bibles. Which one is the right one? And give me the original. How can I believe in that? And they got just upset and desperate. I said, this is your religion and you must believe in it. I said, fine. After coming up with no reasoning from them to me and from me to them, there is no logical and no clearness. I left the convent, and at that time I said, there is no complete peace in. After that, I felt this emptiness in my heart. So I started to do the dua, the praising to God, and I said, please, God, in my words in Spanish, God, you are the one who listens, who always listens. Please, who do I have to follow to come to you direct? Christianity or the Muslims? Which, to my reasoning, there was no improvement in Islam to my opinion, because the way the people act, you cannot say they are better. And honestly, you see many women wearing the hijab halfway, and the makeup, 1 kilo makeup in each eye, the abaya, you see it. Most of the Muslim women is just for adornment or for tradition. You don't see that Iman, that faith, that they are wearing it because of faith. And the men, they are just Same like Mexico, same like American, same like everywhere else. There is no major impact that you can say, oh, maybe they are right. No, there is nothing major happening. Anyway, in my faith, in my heart, I needed the true guidance. So for a whole month, I was just like seeing my daughter needing these right answers. I could not give her, please God, help me. When I was going to bed, when I woke up, this was like a stubbornness of myself that I must walk in the right way, because I was raised up as a believer in Christianity, but as a believer. Then it was like about 3 years before, in the 3 Ramadans before, dreamed that I saw myself wearing the white hijab with the white dress, and I saw myself looking myself like a Muslim, and I was in a small white room, and I look at my both sides, and I have my 2 daughters holded by my both hands on my sides, and they were wearing the same white dress that I was wearing, the white hijab. In this small room, we were praising Allah. We were making sujood to Allah. I was speaking in Arabic, the surahs. And I was so overwhelmed by this, that this is the right way to praise God. Still though, on my right side, I saw a small door. And I saw the shaitan. And he will not enter this white room. He was just there, standing, like in fire. I saw his eyes was like in fire. And he told me, don't become Muslim. Don't believe in Islam. Stay Christian or be anything you want to be. And he started telling me bad words in Spanish. He tried to scare me. But I don't know how come out of my mouth the words, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I said it. And it was like a wind grabbed him out of this place. And I felt no fear in my heart. I grabbed my 2 daughters again. And we continued praising God. And every time we were standing up from sujood, every Allahu Akbar, our bodies were bigger and bigger. Again, Allahu Akbar. And we were bigger and bigger. In one of those sujood, when we said, Subhana Rabbil Ala, Subhana Rabbil Ala, Subhana Rabbil Ala, on the floor, I heard Allahu Akbar. I came back to my consciousness, and this was the Adhan of Fajr. And at that time, I said myself consciously, full awake, Allahu Akbar. I was totally sure, I was 100% sure that God has answered my question. What is the right way, the only right way to come to God? Islam. Right now, I'm so thankful that God has made me Muslim, because this is to be Muslim, as we know. This is the difference of going to the fire forever. There is no 1 year, 10 years. And because I love my babies, I want to raise them up as a true Muslims. After my dream, when I realized the whole thing, I felt taqwa in my heart. So I went to grab whatever cloth I had in my house. I covered myself. And I fear not to be in the right way. I asked my husband, mother at that time, please tell me, how can I be Muslim? Now, I want to be Muslim. So she took me to Al-Awqaf to make my shahada. I did it then. I came back. 3 days later on, Ramadan started. It was like a dream. And I don't want to wake up from my dream. I want to go on with it. I started fasting with no problems at all.
I was sleeping with my mom that night, and my mom used to tell me that you should kiss the cross, and she used to read me parts about the Bible, and she had the Bible in her hands, and she said, "You open it." I asked her, but if he looks a dead man, he told me he didn't die and he didn't live and he wasn't born.
I was getting ready to face my family, but would they accept me? What's going to be their reaction? But I had to face them sooner or later. I said, next year. No. I had to do it sooner or later. So we were in the way. I have the truth in my heart out. You know, this fitra seed, it was just starting to... I did not take off my hijab at all. It was my faith the whole time. And it was my duty to spread Islam, even though with my 1 year knowledge. I had to do it. Whatever I knew, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, I had to spread it, whether they believe it or not. Whatever I knew about Islam, I had to tell my family. When they saw me praying, they want to see what I'm doing, they want to see, they want to know, but they were not really there to ask me. When they saw me praying, and I stand up, I finished my salah, I said, "Oh, so you exercise when you're praying?" Others told me, "Oh, now you believe you're Mother Teresa yourself?" Yeah, this Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And I said, "I'm a true Muslim. You don't have to be a nun to practice the true religion. I mean, you don't have to look like that." I said, this is part of the belief. Like the Virgin Mary, she covered, we covered. This is the best example of a woman, one of the best ones, and the best one. So we must follow her. Like I told you, if you believe in it, media, the CNN in Spanish, has taken charge on spreading what Muslims, terrorists, are like. That's why in my family in Mexico, in my city, they could not connect the idea that a normal person, a good practitioner, could be a good Muslim, could be a Muslim. This was the whole idea. It was just like opposing ideas, that a terrorist and a good practitioner of the deen, how can it be? And I explained to them, as there are good Christians and bad Christians, there's good Muslims and wrong-doing Muslims. I mean, unfortunately, but this is the reality. And inshallah, all of us will become like true brothers and sisters. This is another issue that inshallah, I'm very concerned about that. That we are not like, "Oh, I'm Mexican, I am Arab, I am Ethiopian or Chinese or Spanish or whatever." First of all, we are Muslim sisters and brothers. This is our first identity. I wish, all of us will become like that. Like, this is not the true. This is not the true in reality. You go to the street, "Oh, yes, nice to meet you. Oh, I am German, or I am local. Oh, no, I am Palestinian." All of this first word of identity. And to me, when they ask me, I say, "I am a Muslim, and I am from Mexico," which is, this is not a major important fact. I'm a Muslim. This is the most important thing. Never listen to the Arabs. To me, it was the Arabs. It was not the Muslims. Because you see it like that. They picture themselves like that. And when I realized the whole Islam, I was so mad up to now. Why they never told me a word? What if I die on kufur, being kafir? And my husband never told me a word. The only thing he just said to me sometimes, And he said, and you think this is the right way, and you think this is the right way to praise, and you believe in this book. But other word than that, not him, not his family, not Arab people will give me a hint. It's like they are busy with themselves, or I question myself, they don't believe in their own deen. I don't know. Like these people that they are born Muslim, they are like, in one word, they don't realize the gift that Allah has given them. In my opinion, they don't see what is this gift. It's heaven. Someday, of course, someday, but it's going to be someday, but it's going to be heaven. It's the difference, heaven and hell. They don't realize this fact. Because if they did, they would have told me and told anyone else, everyone around them about Islam. They don't mention it. You just see them praying the 5 times a day, who pray 5 times a day, and that's it. But I wish in me and my babies we can do a difference in Islam to the society.
I'm proud to be a Muslim, and that my mom is helping me to be better Muslim every day. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الإنسان من علق. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم